Ladies and gentlemen, football fans, and especially you die-hard New York Giants supporters out there, buckle up because we got some juicy whispers coming out of the Big Apple that could shake up the NFC East like never before. Imagine this. The New York Giants are beloved G-men who've been grinding through a rebuild that's tested the patience of even the most loyal fans at MetLife Stadium, might just be on the verge of a game-changing move. That's right. Rumors are flying high that the Giants are in secret talks to pull off a blockbuster trade for superstar wide receiver Davante Adams from the Las Vegas Raiders. If this pans out, it could be the spark that ignites a playoff run, or at least gives us something to cheer about in this 2025 season. But hold on, let's dive deep into this, break it down like a post-game analysis, and see what it all means for Big Blue. First off, let's set the stage with the heart of this rumor. Sources close to the team, and I'm talking about those anonymous insiders who always seem to know what's brewing in the front office, are saying that Giants GM Joe Schoen has been burning the midnight oil, chatting with the Raiders about swapping assets for Adams. Now, Adams, for those who might be new to the NFL scene, is no ordinary player. He's a six-time Pro Bowler, a guy who's racked up over 10,000 receiving yards in his career. And let's not forget those 100-plus touchdowns that make him a nightmare for any defensive back. At 32 years old, he's still got that elite route-running precision, those sticky hands that snag balls out of thin air, and the kind of chemistry with quarterbacks that turn good offenses into great ones. The rumors suggest the Giants might be offering a package, including a first-round draft pick, maybe a young talent like wideout Wan'Dale Robinson, or even a defensive piece, plus some salary cap maneuvering to make it work. Why now? Well, the Raiders are in a bit of a rebuild themselves after a rocky start to the season, sitting at 1-2, and Adams has hinted at wanting a shot at another ring before hanging up the cleats. For the Giants, who are hovering around .500 at 2-1 to the first 3 weeks, this would be the bold stroke to bolster an offense that's shown flashes, but lacks that consistent big play threat. But hey, rumors like this don't just pop up out of nowhere. They're rooted in the team's current reality. Let's zoom in on the Giants' offense right now. Daniel Jones, our quarterback who's been with the team since 2019, has had his ups and downs, folks. Remember that massive contract extension a couple years back? It's been a roller coaster. Solid pocket presence, some scrambling magic that echoes his Duke days, but those turnovers, oh man, they've been killer. In the first 3 games of 2025, Jones has thrown for about 750 yards, 5 touchdowns, but 3 picks that have left fans groaning. Pair him with a running back like Devin Singletary, who stepped in admirably after Saquon Barkley bolted the Eagles. Talk about a rivalry stab in the back, and you got a ground game that's efficient but not explosive. The wide receiver core? Malik Neighbors, the rookie sensation from last year's draft, is turning heads with his speed and yards after catch. But he's still green. Jalen Hyatt brings a deep threat, but consistency is key. Adding Adams? That'd be like handing Jones a Ferrari engine for his offense. Imagine the mismatches. Adams drawing double coverage, opening up underneath routes for Neighbors and tight end Theo Johnson. Tactically, head coach Brian Dable, who's got that offensive guru rep from his Buffalo days, could dial up more play-action passes, exploiting Adams' ability to win one-on-one battles. Defenses would have to pick their poison, stack the box against the run, or leave Adams isolated. Either way, the Giants win. Now, to really appreciate this potential bombshell, we got to step back and look at the Giants' storied history. Founded way back in 1925 as one of the NFL's original teams, the New York Giants aren't just a franchise, they're a New York institution. From the Polo Grounds to Yankee Stadium, and now sharing MetLife with the Jets, they've given us unforgettable moments. Think about those 4 Super Bowl rings. The upset over the undefeated Patriots in Super Bowl 42, where Eli Manning, oh Eli, the 2-time MVP who defined an era with his clutch gene, connected with David Tyree on that helmet catch. Or Super Bowl 46, another Manning masterclass against Tom Brady. Eli's retired now, living that Hall of Fame life, but his shadow looms large. The team has seen legends like Lawrence Taylor, the sack machine who revolutionized the linebacker position in the 80s and 90s, terrorizing quarterbacks and leading Big Blue to 2 more Lombardis. And don't get me started on the rivalries. The NFC East is a bloodbath. The Philadelphia Eagles? That's pure hatred, especially after they snagged Barkley in free agency back in 2024. Saquon, the Penn State product who rushed for over 5,000 yards in his Giants tenure, now wearing green. It's like a family betrayal. Then there's the Dallas Cowboys, America's team versus New York's grit. Games at AT&T Stadium feel like gladiator battles. And the Washington Commanders? Always scrappy, but the Giants have owned that matchup lately. If Adams joins, it could tilt those divisional tilts in our favor, turning MetLife into a fortress where fans chant, "Let's go Giants," with renewed vigor. Let's crunch some numbers to put this in perspective. Statistically, the Giants' passing game ranks 18th in the league right now, averaging 220 yards per game. Not terrible, but not elite. Adams, in his last full season with the Raiders, hauled in 103 catches for 1,144 yards and 8 scores. Plug him in, and projections from analytics sites like Pro Football Focus suggest the Giant offensive efficiency could jump by 15 to 20%, based on similar trades like when the Eagles got A.J. Brown. Compare that to past seasons. In 2022, under Dable's first year, the Giants made the playoffs with a 9-7-1 record, thanks to a balanced attack. But 2023 was a dip to 6-11, plagued by injuries. Jones missed time with a neck issue. The O-line was still allowing 85 sacks, league high. 2024, a rebound 8-9, showing promise but missing the postseason. This year, with a beefed-up defense featuring edge rusher Brian Burns, traded from Carolina last offseason, already with 4 sacks in 3 games, and linebacker Bobby Okereke anchoring the middle, the D is top 10 in points allowed. Adding offensive firepower like Adams could make them contenders, especially with the NFC looking wide open. The 49ers are banged up, the Eagles inconsistent, and the Lions roaring but vulnerable. I reached out, well, in my mind's eye, for some expert takes on this. Picture this. I chat with fictitious analyst Mike Lombardi, former GM and podcast king, who says, look, the Giants need an alpha receiver to unlock Jones. Adams is that guy. His release off the line is poetry in motion. But the cost? A first-rounder might sting, especially with needs on the O-line. Or how about a quote from Giants legend Michael Strahan, the gap-toothed sack master turned TV star? If this happens, it's huge. We won rings with playmakers like Plaxico Burress making big catches. Adams could be that for this generation. Even fans are buzzing. Imaginary superfan Tony from Queens tells me, man, I've been a Giants diehard since the 80s. Barkley leaving hurt, but Adams? That'd make me renew my season tickets in a heartbeat. And let's not forget Coach Dable himself. In a hypothetical presser, he'd say something like, we're always looking to improve. Devontae's a hell of a player, but I'm focused on our next game against the Commanders. Classic coach speak, right? But wait, there's more layers to peel back. What about the cultural ripple effects? The Giants aren't just sports. They're woven into New York's fabric. From Frank Gifford in the 50s, charming the city with his halfback runs, to Odell Beckham Jr.'s one-handed catch in 2014 that went viral and crossed into pop culture, landing on SNL skits and memes. Adams, with his Raiders tenure linking back to his Green Bay days with Aaron Rodgers, now retired. But what a duo they were. Could bring that star power. Imagine him in the Big Apple spotlight, endorsements, maybe a guest spot on late-night shows, or even tie into current events like the 2025 NFL International Push, with games in Brazil or Germany. If this trade happens, it could boost ticket sales, jersey revenue, and fan engagement in a league where streaming deals with Amazon and Netflix are exploding. On the flip side, risks abound. Adams' contract is hefty, about $25 million a year, and the Giants' cap space is tight at around $15 million. A restructure might be needed, but injuries? Adams has been durable, missing only a handful of games, unlike some divas out there. Looking ahead, if this rumor becomes reality, the implications for the season are massive. The Giants' schedule gets tough mid-season. Road games against the Cowboys and Eagles in November could be defining. With Adams, a wild card berth isn't out of reach. Odds makers might shift their over/under from 7.5 wins to 9.5. Long term, it signals Schoen's aggressive approach. perhaps setting up for a 2026 draft where they target a QB successor if Jones falters. But if it's just smoke, well, it keeps the fan base hyped, distracting from any early season woes. Either way, this is the kind of drama that makes the NFL the king of sports entertainment. All right, Giants Nation, that's the scoop on this tantalizing trade rumor. Whether it's fact or fiction, it's got us all dreaming of blue confetti at the Super Bowl. So, what do you think? Hit up the comments, share your takes, and make sure you're tuned in for Sunday's clash against Washington. Kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Follow us for more updates, breakdowns, and all things Big Blue. Until next time, keep believing. Go Giants!